Hello, it's me, your oil change light. That last mechanic took 3 hours. Would you trust him again?
Silence your oil change anxiety at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where we change your oil in about 15 minutes.
Let's go in the Wayback Machine for a second. 7 years ago, it was officially declared that Aldi has the lowest prices. Now let's go in the Way Forward Machine. 7 years later, Aldi still holds that title. More impressively, we never lost it. While other stores schemed up ways to steal your cash, Aldi had the lowest prices in town for each of those 7 years. Because it's what we do. The lowest in everyday prices, 7 years running. It's an Aldi thing.
Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
A busy Tuesday with episodes of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense, an episode of Boston Blackie, an episode of I Was a Communist for the FBI, and Dangerously Yours from 1944, and we'll wrap it all up with the next episode of Superman. That's all coming up on this Tuesday. This is the 20th day of August. It is the 233rd day of the year, 133 days remaining. President Andrew Johnson formally declared the U.S. Civil War over in 1866. In 1920, the first commercial radio station, 8MK, began operations in Detroit. It remains on the air today as WWJ. In 1940, exiled Russian revolutionary Leon Trotsky, fatally wounded in Mexico City by an assassin's ice axe, he would die the following day. In 1953, the Soviet Union publicly acknowledged it had tested a hydrogen bomb. 1969, all four Beatles together in the recording studio for the last time as they finished the Abbey Road LP. 1975, NASA launched the Viking 1 planetary probe toward Mars.
It began here at the Kennedy Space Center, Florida, last summer. A pair of spacecraft, Viking 1 and Viking 2, were readied for their separate journeys to Mars. Each is really two spacecraft in one. A 5,000-pound orbiter with cameras and communications gear, and sealed inside two saucer-like capsules at the other end, the Viking landing craft. A camera-equipped automated biological and chemistry laboratory and seismic station, which has been purged of earthly organisms by being heated in a huge oven. The 11-month, 420-million-mile trip for the two Viking orbiter landers was set in motion by two launches. One in August, one in September. Earth shrinks smaller and smaller as the two Vikings head toward their Martian rendezvous.
Viking 2 would be launched a month later on their 11-month journey to Mars. And as we said, in 1977, U.S. launched Voyager 2, an unmanned spacecraft carrying a 12-inch copper phonograph record containing greetings in dozens of languages, samples of music, and sounds of nature. In Edmonton, Oklahoma, on this date in 1986, postal employee Patrick Sherrill gunned down 14 of his co-workers and then committed suicide.
He had a 9mm pistol and he started shooting employees.
Walk back a little ways on the right in a booth, there are three bodies. You walk back a few feet further and there are four bodies, and you go back a little bit further and there's another couple. You come back up the other side, there are isolated bodies. You go back in the back room where they're having a break, there are donuts and coffee on the table and a dead body laying there.
Postal worker Vince Furnong and Edmond District Attorney Bob Macy. It was this shooting that ended up coining the phrase going postal. A ceasefire agreed to between Iran and Iraq after almost 8 years of war on this date in 1988. 1991, more than 100,000 people rallied outside the Soviet Union's parliament building protesting the coup aimed to depose President Mikhail Gorbachev. It would lead to the collapse of the Soviet Union. In 1992, the Republican National Convention in Houston nominated President George Herbert Walker Bush and Vice President Dan Quayle for a second term. In 1993, after rounds of secret negotiations in Norway, the Oslo Peace Accords were signed, following by a public ceremony in Washington the following month. In 1998, the U.S. military launched cruise missile attacks against al-Qaeda camps in Afghanistan and a suspected chemical plant in Sudan in retaliation for the August 7th bombing of American embassies in Kenya and Tanzania. The Al-Shifa pharmaceutical factory in Khartoum destroyed in the attack. And it was 4 years ago today, President Biden gave his acceptance speech virtually for the 2020 Democrat presidential nomination. Passing away on this date in history, the delightful Phyllis Diller.
Would you believe that I once entered a beauty contest? I must have been out of my mind. I not only came in last, I got 361 get well cards. Now, I don't want you to get the idea that I have given up on my looks. I will never give up. I am in my 14th year of a 10-day beauty plan. When I go to bed at night, I've got so much grease on my body, I wear snow chains to hold up my gown. We've got more grease stains in the bedroom than we got in the garage. One night I asked Fang to kiss me goodnight. He got up and put on his work clothes. You know, the lights have gone out with dirty old Fang. The last time there was a gleam in Fang's eye, there was a short in his electric blanket. All he cares about is football. I thought that our weekends after we were married would be a loaf of bread, a jug of wine, and that. You know how it turned out? A box of pretzels, a can of beer, and the Green Bay Packers.
From a 1969 edition of the Phyllis Diller show, the Ed Sullivan Show, Phyllis Diller passing away on this date 12 years ago. Also passing away on this date, the founder of the Salvation Army, William Booth, former Associated Press photographer Joe Rosenthal, who took that iconic Iwo Jima flag-raising picture during World War II. He died on this date in 2006 at the age of 94. Also passing away on this date, the Queen of Mean, Leona Helmsley, and jazz pianist, composer Marion McPartland, and a man who, depending upon who you talk to, was an okay Joe, and others who say he was not so nice, Jerry Lewis.
My name is Norman, and I'm 5. Yes. And this is my lolly, and it's orange, and it's my favorite kind. And if I had a whole lot of them, then everybody here could have some. But it's the only one I have, so it shouldn't go to waste. You know, a lot of times I say the wrong thing, and my mother really gets very mad at me. Like the other day, I was in the kitchen and waiting for my mother to make me breakfast. And my mother came down and I said, "Hey, Ma, your belly is sticking very far out." And my mother said, "That's the baby." I said, "Oh." I said, "Is it nice?" She said, "Oh, yes, it's very nice." I said, "Do you love it?" She said, "Oh, yes, I love it." I said, "Then why did you eat it?"
From the 1986 comic relief special, Jerry Lewis, passing away on this date in 2017. Birthdays on this date include President Benjamin Harrison, the original voice of Fred Flintstone, Alan Reed.
Hello, Pasquale. You want to see me about something?
Luigi, my little pumpkin head. I've got something very important I want to talk to you about. If I was to ask you if you want to marry Rosa, wouldn't your answer be no?
Yes, sir.
Yes! Luigi, my son, I accept your proposal.
From Life with Luigi with J. Carroll Nash, Alan Reed is Pasquale. Alan Reed, born on this date in history. Also celebrating birthdays today in heaven or wherever, Jacqueline Suzanne, the novelist. Singer Jim Reeves, the president of Serbia and of Yugoslavia, Slobodan Milosevic, and the wonderful musician and also pretty good voice artist, Isaac Hayes, born Shaft, yes, and Shep in the South Park comedies. all born on this date in history.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
Led Zeppelin's Robert Plant turned 76 today.
1971. There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. When she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed, with a word she can get what she can.
When you think Led Zeppelin, you automatically think of Stairway to Heaven. Robert Plant of Stairway to Heaven, 76 today. Ron Paul is 89. Mrs. Maury Povich, Connie Chung, 78 today.
At every turn lately, the president is running into an attack from Ross Perot. 7 months after the election, Perot is still campaigning.
CBS, ABC, CNN, Connie Chung, a fine anchor and journalist, 78 years old today. TV's Al Roker is 70.
Out west, temperatures 90s, 100s, 100 teens in the southwest, 70s in New England, 60s in the Pacific Northwest. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Al Roker, 70 years old today. Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel, James Marsters, is 62. From Limp Bizkit, Fred Durst is 54. From Supernatural, Misha Collins is 50. Actress Amy Adams is 50.
We got the Bureau to park $2 million for 3 days. We've got the account numbers.
We? Meaning you and him? Yeah, we did it. Really?
Yeah, me and that guy.
She showed me. You showed him? Our thing? You did that without me? Are you kidding?
What are you gonna do?
From the 2013 movie American Hustle, Amy Adams is 50. From the television show Once Upon a Time, Megan Ory is 42. The 2012 and 2014 Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Andrew Garfield, is 41.
What are you? You a cop? Really? You seriously think I'm a cop? Cop in a skin-tight red and blue suit. You know, you're...
The former Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield, 41. Demi Lovato, with her hit Sorry Not Sorry, is 32.
Payback is a bad chick, and baby, I'm the baddest. Stop playing with a savage. Can't have this, can't have this. And it'd be nice of me to take it easy on ya, but nah. Baby, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Baby, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Being so bad got me feeling so good. Showing you up like I know that I would.
Demi Lovato, 32 today. From Glee, Alex Newell is 32, and the voice of Hola, si Dora, Dora the Explorer, Fatima Pacek, is 24. Those are just a few of the people who celebrate the 20th day of August as their birthday. If this happens to be your birthday...
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Up next, a later episode of radio's outstanding theater of thrills out of New York City, Suspense. 63 years ago, August 20th, 1961, film meter Bill Lipton. Star in Murder is a Matter of Opinion. That's next.
Hello, it's me, your oil change light. That last mechanic took 3 hours. Would you trust him again?
Silence your oil change anxiety at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where we change your oil in about 15 minutes.
There's nothing worse than getting home from your trip only to find you missed a can't-miss travel experience. That's why you need Viator. Book guided tours, excursions, and more in one place to make your trip truly unregrettable. There are over 300,000 travel experiences to choose from, so you can find something for everyone. And Viator offers free cancellation and 24/7 customer service, so you always have support around the clock. Download the Viator